At Kelly's, Carly is on the phone with her mom telling her everything is going great, and people are pouring in. After Carly ends the call, Nina enters and tells Carly there is something she needs to say to her. Nina stops, is puzzled that Carly's behind the counter, and asks if she works here. Carly says she owns the place, and Nina says that's good for her. Nana tells Carly about her visit with Willow. Carly asks when Nina will learn, and that she needs to give Willow time and space, and let her reach out to her. Nana says Willow did. Willow has included her in her bubble, and she has Carly to thank for that. Nana explains she had a wonderful visit with Willow, and assumed it was because Carly dropped her vendetta against her. Carly blurts out, "Who says I did that?" Nana assumed they were putting this feud behind them, and she wants them to get along for Willow's sake. Nana says they are family, but Carly says they aren't. Carly tells Nina that family gives, and all she does is take, including taking her entire life. Carly says she might be having a bit of a setback, but she'll get back everything she's lost. Carly heads into the kitchen. Nina follows Carly and asks if that is a threat. Carly says maybe, or maybe it's her mantra. She tells Nina to get out of her kitchen and take a seat in the dining area. Nana says she lost her appetite and exits. At the hospital, Finn finds Portia crying in the lounge. He asks if there is anything he can do. She explains this whole thing with Curtis is just catching up to her, and she's not sure what to do. Finn slyly texts Liz, then brings her some coffee. Liz checks in on Curtis, and he asks if she's here as a nurse or a friend. She says she's always his friend but has to check his vitals. Curtis has a favor to ask and says he doesn't want visitors, especially Trina and Portia. Just then Liz gets Finn's text. Liz arrives in the lounge, and Portia asks if she's seen Curtis. Liz answers she just did, and he's asked to limit his visitors. Portia assumes that means her and Trina, which Liz confirms. Finn decides to leave them alone to talk. Liz asks what happened, and Portia cries Curtis wants nothing to do with her. Portia has seen patients react this way, but Liz says this patient is her husband. Portia admits their marriage is also part of the problem as they were at odds when he was shot. Curtis has convinced himself she's acting out of pity, which isn't true. Portia cries she took her vows for better or for worse, and Curtis is determined to push her away. Portia knows this is partially her fault, as she kept Curtis from knowing Trina was his daughter for 20 years. Liz thought he had forgiven her and was forging a relationship with Trina. Portia thought so too, but opens up about Curtis kissing Jordan when they were apart. She admits she was hurt when she found out, and she began to distance herself from him. Liz asks if Portia would still be fighting for this relationship if the shooting didn't happen. Portia believes she would be, and it would have taken time to rebuild trust, but it can be done. Liz says they both made mistakes, but they can both forgive one another. Portia knows she's loved Curtis most of her life. Liz asks what she'll do about that realization. Finn drops in to check on Curtis and lets Finn know he's here for him and whatever he needs. Curtis says if he wants to be a friend, then give him some space. Finn says as a fellow addict, he understands what he's going through. Curtis promises he's not using, and the doctors know his history of abuse. Finn is glad he's handling it for now. Curtis asks what that means. Finn has been where he is, and he's isolating everyone who cares for him. Finn tells Curtis to be honest, how long before he wants to be alone with his drug of choice. Curtis says this is about his pride as a man, and he won't tie down Portia and Trina and have them take care of a helpless man. Finn points out that asking for help doesn't make you helpless, it makes you smart. Finn knows from experience you can't shut out everyone, and he has to swallow his pride and let people help him. Finn says that's when progress and healing will happen. Curtis laughs at him going all woo-woo, and Finn threatens to set up dream catchers and crystals all over the room. He urges Curtis not to push away those that he needs the most. Finn returns to the lounge and thanks Liz for the save earlier. He wasn't sure how to help Portia. Liz explains she needed a girlfriend's shoulder to cry on, and Portia and Curtis are going through hell. However, she hopes they find their way back to one another. She asks where he went. He says he was helping a friend too. Finn returns to the lounge and thanks Liz for the save earlier. He wasn't sure how to help Portia. Liz explains she needed a girlfriend's shoulder to cry on, and Portia and Curtis are going through hell. However,